There are many different ways to step up your die cutting, whether that's heat embossing, watercolouring, cutting out from pattern paper. Well, today I'm going to use glitter cardstock to add that sparkle and shine to my cards. This card features as the Plentiful Patterns blog hop, which is part of the Altenew's hop to celebrate the release of their Plentiful Patterns dies. I'm Verity and welcome to my YouTube channel and blog Pretty Little Button, where I make paper crafting tutorials for the everyday crafter. So I'm going to be using two new dies that have come out of this release. I'm using the Itty Bitty Flowers die and the Polka Dot Leaves die. What I like about this is the packaging has been updated and it's kind of more like a booklet, which is great because I don't know about you, but my die packets used to get stuck in the die cellophane with all that tape. I'm also going to be using some glitter cardstock. I've got a collection here, but I'm going to be only using a few of the colours. But they are great because they are in gradient colours, and so you can layer them up as well. For the Itty Bitty Flowers, I will also be using the espresso cardstock from the Coffee Break gradient cardstock. So for the actual colours of the flowers on the Itty Bitty Flowers, I am using the Ocean Reflection gradient glitter cardstock. This has some beautiful blues, and these are great for creating some layers, which the Itty Bitty Flowers are. So I'm just adhering them down onto some of the cardstock with some washi tape just to keep them in place. And what's great is all of the layers for each of the colour, they're all grouped into one die, making it really easy so you don't have to adhere and stick down with washi tape each of the individual flowers for each of the individual dies. Makes it so much quicker for you. So when they were all die cut, I just popped them out and I grouped them into their colours, and they're really easy just to pop out of the cardstock. If you're finding that it's not die cutting very well, you may just want to add a shim, like a metal shim, just to give it a little bit more pressure running through your die. This will all depend on your die cutting machine. I found running it through my Sizzix Big Shot, I always use a metal shim anyway, they cut out beautifully. Before I started to adhere them all together, I wanted to create a little bit of interest to the background. And for this, I am using the Moroccan Lattice cover plate die, and then I'm just creating some tone-on-tone interest and texture in the background by adhering that down. As I said, I also die cut the branch from the Itty Bitty Flowers out of the espresso cardstock from the Coffee Break gradient cardstock. And then I'm using some liquid adhesive to adhere that down. Now I did add a bit of foam tape around the border of the Moroccan die just to pop it up a little bit. But in the end, it didn't really make much difference because I was sticking the floral down and sticking that onto the card base. It just gave a little bit of extra texture around the edge, but otherwise it wouldn't have made much difference. Now the Itty Bitty Flower dies does have a layering guide. It's on the back of the packaging. It's really easy, shows you which layers, which shapes layer up to make each of the flowers. They can create such an interesting look, really easy to do, and then you can just pop them on the flower. Now again, the front of the packaging has the finished floral, so you can see where they've placed those flowers. Obviously you can place them wherever you fancy, you don't have to stick to that. So adding this glitter shine just steps up that die cutting ever so slightly, gives it a little bit of interest, a little bit of sparkle and shine, but you've still got that beautiful look from the die cutting. Now I'm just using liquid adhesive to adhere them down because it is glitter cardstock, it's a little bit heavier. Liquid adhesive makes sure it will stay put. Now to finish this card off, I wanted to add a sentiment. And for the sentiment, I am using the Happy Birthday dies from the Just a Number die set. This also comes with a stamp set, but you can use the die set independently. I've die cut this out of black cardstock and I have layered it up several times to give it a bit of dimension. And then just to tie it in with the sparkle from the glitter cardstock, I'm also adding some sparkle over the top with a pen. This is a Spectrum Noir pen, sparkle pen, but you can use like the Wink of Stella, whatever you have to hand, and it just adds a little bit of sparkle to the actual black die cut. And I'll just get it in focus and you'll be able to see all that sparkle and shine when I turn it in the light and see that beautiful glitter. Just picks up on that glitter and sparkle from the flowers. So that's the first card that we've used, the glitter cardstock with your die cutting. And for the second cardstock, I'm going to be using the glitter cardstock, but in a little bit more of a subtle way. So for this card, I'm using the gilded glitter cardstock pack, which has a lot of different golds going into like a platinum. Some beautiful warm golds, some more yellowy gold tones. So there's a whole variety there depending on what you want to use. I selected about 3 different colours because I want sort of the glitter just to vary throughout the actual design. Now, I'm using the polka dot leaves die here. This has come out of the new release, and I'm first of all just die cutting it out white cardstock. And this will die cut with the holes in it. So there are 2 dies in this die set. One that cuts it with the holes in it, and one that cuts it just as a full leaf. And I'm going to then die cut the full leaf one out of various different colours of the gilded gradient cardstock bundle. I'm not going to completely cut out the whole leaf design. One, it's bigger than the actual cardstock bundle width, but I'm only wanting to add certain leaves and of different colours to different areas of the leaf, so I don't need the whole thing cut out, and I'm just trimming down any of the excess so that I can then just position them into different areas of the polka dot design. These I'm going to adhere behind, so that glitter is just going to pop through those little polka dot dies, and it just gives it a little soft, delicate sparkle and shine, and adds a little bit of interest to the card design. Now, because it is glitter, I do like to use a liquid adhesive, as I say, to adhere them down. This is because it will give a very strong bond to the glitter. With all that texture, it's the best way to ensure it adheres down. Once I have adhered all of those leaves down and glued them down, you will get this beautiful die cut with all the glitter shining through those polka dots. Now I'm going to place this on a slimline card base made out of navy cardstock. Now I do trim this down to make it a smaller slimline card base, but you can use any size that you wish and like. Now I added some foam pads behind it just to pop it up for a bit dimension. And then I'm adding a hello word die cut. This is layered up again for a bit more dimension, and this comes from the All About You word die set. Now to finish this card off, all I'm doing is adding a few enamel dots from the Essentials, Altenew Essential Enamel Dots. These are in black and white, and I'm just dotting them around. They contrast really lovely with the navy cardstock. They tie in with the white leaves, but they don't take away from that sparkle and shine that you get from those subtle polka dot leaves on this card. So I hope this video has shown you a couple of ways of how to incorporate some sparkle and shine to your die cutting. It's a fantastic way to step them up, add a little bit more interest, but you aren't overpowering the card with too much glitter. These glitter cardstocks are great because they are non-shed. Now, if you're watching this video over on my YouTube channel, make sure you check out my blog where the blog hop and giveaway is going on. Altenew are giving away some prizes if you comment and hop along. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know out of the 2 cards which is your favourite. Until next time, happy crafting!